Ms. Buller, good morning, grade 10. Welcome to today's lesson, the Tuesday, the 24th of March. This is part 2 of pronoun antecedent agreements. We're going to be continuing on where we left off, and we'll be starting at compound antecedents. So, a compound antecedent is two or more antecedents joined by and or. So we have two compound antecedents and they're joined by and or. So we use a plural pronoun to refer to two or more antecedents joined by and. For example, antecedent 1 is Nina, antecedent 2 is Paul. We're going to join them with and. Drew pictures of themselves. So we just use and in between two antecedents, right? So, very easy. We move on to the second sentence. The car and the truck honked their horns. So, very simple. The compound antecedent, all we have to do is we can either use and or we could use or. So we could say, no, for these ones we have to use and. For example, we couldn't say Nina or Paul drew pictures of themselves because we are talking about themselves. So or would not work there. And again, we can't use or here either. Okay. Use a singular pronoun to refer to two or more singular antecedents joined by or nor. So we have a singular pronoun. Paula or Janet will present her views. So or works here as the singular antecedent. So let's continue. Neither Max nor Pablo said that he would. So we're using or nor. And we use these between singular pronouns. Okay? So let's have a look at the practice tip, or the practice. Complete each sentence by providing pronouns that agree with their antecedents. For number 1, some male birds and reptiles care for something young. So we're talking about singular or plural? Birds and reptiles. So we have S and S, therefore plural. So I'm thinking there. Let's have a look. Yeah. In this sentence, the antecedents male birds and reptiles are joined by and. So they're joined by and. The plural pronoun there agrees with the compound subject. So it's a compound subject because it's not a complex subject. Oh, sorry. Back. So yeah, so this is a compound subjects, and there would work because they're plural. Either Stu or Mike will lend me fishing gear. So Stu or Mike, we're saying that it can be one or the other. So they're singular, right? Stu or Mike will lend me, I'm going to say, will lend me the fishing gear. His fishing gear, sorry. His fishing gear, because it's singular. So in the sentence, the singular antecedents, Stu and Mike, are joined by or. The singular pronoun his agrees with the compound subject. So we're not using there, we're using his because we're talking about one or the other. Yep. So neither my mother nor my aunt knew where something was born. So again, we're talking about a singular and we're talking about a female, so feminine. Because there's mother, which is feminine, and aunt, or auntie, which is a woman. So we're going to need, neither my mother nor my aunt knew where she was born. In this sentence, the singular antecedents, mother and aunt, are joined by neither or nor. The singular pronoun she agrees with the compound subjects. Okay? So she obviously agrees with the antecedents here, mother and aunt. Most of the following sentences contain pronouns that do not agree with their antecedents. If a pronoun does not agree with its antecedent, provide the correct pronoun. If a sentence is already correct, write C. So, both Wanda and Sam were pleased with herself. Now, this one is quite confusing because actually Sam could be a boy or a girl. This name in English is can be used for both male or female. Both Wanda and Sam were pleased with herself. But herself, I don't think works here. I think we're going to have to say themselves. Let's have a look. Themselves, yes. Both Wanda and Sam were pleased with themselves. Because we don't know if it's a girl, so we can't say herself. Okay? A fly or a bee can enter the plant, but they cannot escape. A fly or bee can enter the plant, but they cannot escape. Fly or bee can enter the plant, but they cannot escape. Now they would be talking about a plural, wouldn't it? And I think we're talking about singular because we have fly or a bee. Can enter the plant, but I would say it. But let's have a look. Let's have a check. It. A fly or bee can enter the plant, but it cannot escape. Do you see? We have to use the singular. We have to use the antecedents are singular, fly or a bee. Therefore, we have to use the correct pronoun it. Okay? Let's go back up. This plate and cup bear the mark of its maker. So, because we're using and, we're joining, they're similar. This plate and cup. So, we're going to say it's not singular, it's plural. This plate and cup bear the mark of its maker. Now, it is singular, therefore, it doesn't agree with the antecedents here. Okay, so it would have to be this plate and cup bear the mark of their maker. Let's just double check that, yeah. The plate and the cup bear the mark of their maker. Neither Bill nor Andy think that the coat is theirs. I wonder now. So neither Bill nor Andy think that the coat is theirs. So we're talking about, we have nor here, so we're talking singular. We have Bill nor Andy. So think that the coat is theirs. I think that this could be correct. But let's just have a look. No, I'm wrong because, sorry, Bill nor Nandi, they're singular, so I couldn't say theirs, could I? Because that would be referring to both of them. So we have to use the singular pronoun his. Both are male. Bill and Andy are male. So we have to use his. I do not accept fame or reward, but would welcome it. I do not accept fame or reward, but would welcome it. So, I would welcome it. No, I think this is correct because we have I for the singular, welcome it. Let's have a look. Yep, correct. I do not accept fame or reward, but would welcome it. Because they both agree. We're talking about a singular antecedent and also singular here with it. Special problems in pronoun agreements. Expressions of amount. An expression of amount, a measurement, percentage, or fraction, may be singular or plural depending on how it is used. So this one is a little bit tricky because, yeah, it could be singular or plural. And now we just have to see how it's used to determine that. Expression of amount is singular when the amount is thought of as a unit. So here is $5. Is it enough? So $5 is the unit, the total unit. So we're using this as a singular note. Here is $5. So even though we have an S here, we are still saying that it's singular. It's $5. We don't say here is $5. We say here is $5. Is it enough? So it agrees with it being singular. So therefore, here is $5. Is it enough? So that's how we know. We see how it's used in a sentence. In the sentence, it's only used as a singular object. Plural. When the amount is thought of as separate parts. So $5 were counterfeit, weren't they? So here it's plural because we're not talking about one $5 note. We're talking about more than one because $5 were counterfeit, weren't they? And we can see, weren't they? He's not asking, he's using they. So they is plural. Okay? A fraction or percentage is singular when it refers to a singular word. So when it refers to a singular word, then it's referred to being plural. This farmer has set aside 10% of his land and agreed to it, let it go wild. So it agrees, the singular word agrees with his land. So it's one piece of land, therefore it's singular. This is when we can say 10% is a singular, and you have to look at the agreement here. It is singular, one piece of land, so we can assume that he's talking about a singular, the fraction as being singular. It's plural when it refers to a plural word. Okay, so this farmer has set aside 10% of his fields. So before we had land without an S, now we have field with an S, so field, so more than one. So we can see that's plural. And agreed to let them go wild. So them also, compared to that, them is also plural. Okay? So we just have to look how it's used in the sentence to determine if it's singular or if it's plural. Okay, plural forms. Some nouns that are plural in form take singular pronouns. Plural forms that take singular pronouns. So, civics, gymnastics, molasses or molasses? Molasses, yeah. Economics, linguistics, mumps, electronics, mathematics, news, genetics, measles, physics. So they all have an S, and they are either plural or singular depending on how they're used in the
And
sentence.
most of them are either name of subjects or branches
Yeah.
of science or fields of science or diseases. Most of them, of course.
Yeah, so
They are either diseases or a field of science.
yeah, economics, gymnastics, yeah. Okay, so I have good news. Do you want to hear it? So singular, I have good news. Do you want to hear it? So we just have to look at how it's used in the sentence. We can see that it's singular, and even though it's saying news, we can assume that he's only talking about one one set of information.
Yeah, because news is singular. Yeah. Although it has an S, but this S is not an inflection. It's like originally from the word itself, from the spelling of the word. It's treated as singular.
So let's have a look at the tip here. So Grammar Guy says, many nouns ending in ICS, such as athletics, acoustics, and ethics, may be singular or plural. Such nouns are generally singular when they refer to a science, system, or skill. We learned about ethics and how it relates to other branches of philosophy. So that's what you just said there. So
It's a field of
science.
or
Such nouns are plural when they refer to qualities or individual items. Let me tell you about my ethics. So it's referring to qualities, individual items, my ethics, and how I develop them. So we can tell that it's plural because it's talking
Can
about
I just
himself.
interfere here and give the meanings, the meaning
Yeah.
in both cases in Arabic? So first, it's علم الأخلاق, the science of ethics, all right? And in the second case, it's like أخلاق, أخلاقياتك, okay? Your morals, all right? Yeah.
Plural forms. So even when plural in form, these types of nouns take singular pronouns. Titles of a creative work, such as books, songs, movies, or paintings. After Chad read Mules and Men, he wrote report on it.
Yeah, because this is the title of only one book. I'm talking about one book here.
Yeah, Mules and Men, which you would think would be plural, but it's actually it's a title of a book.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's he's talking about one thing. So
Yeah.
So or we can say that names of countries, cities, or organizations. So Hot Springs,
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
It's the name of a place.
It's the name of a state.
A place in the state.
Place.
In the state of Arkansas. Yeah.
Is famous for its popular health resort.
Yeah. So we're going to stop it here for today.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue tomorrow.
So if you guys could have a look at the practice for these questions here, and try and practice at home, guys. And it'd be great if you could give us some feedback and also send some
Done sheets.
done, finished, completed sheets. Thanks. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back on this pronoun agreement
And
tomorrow.
hopefully, inshallah, the school is planning to go live. So hopefully tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we're going to meet them live on
Okay, great.
Zoom. Please be encouraged to join us tomorrow or the day after tomorrow on our live classes, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.